Here in opening day 2020, the Kansas City Royals traveled to Cleveland to take down the Indians at Progressive Field. Billy Hatcher making his managerial debut for the Kansas City Royals. Corey Kluber on the hill for the Indians. Made 26 starts last year with a 3.55 ERA. And in the top half of the first, Richard Rose starts off his MLB career with a walk. But then Jorge Soler grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. So nothing going for the Royals. Danny Duffy, the left-hander, with another opening day start for KC, 32 starts last year, 13-11 with a 3.26 ERA, and in the bottom half of the first, Jose Ramirez is going to double over the head of Andujar at third. So he is on second base. Next batter up is Tyler Naquin, and he is going to hit one past Rose into right field. Ramirez holds up at third base, so it's runners on the corners. Lindor comes to the plate, and he hits a ball into the left center field gap. It's going to roll up against the wall, and all the runners are going to score a bases-clearing double, 2-0 lead for the Indians here in the bottom of the first. And then Brian Dozier would come to the plate, hit a ball slowly up the middle, and it gets past all the infielders for a RBI single. It's now a 3-0 lead for the Indians. Move things on to the top half of the second, where Tommy Joseph hits one into the right center field gap, but Bradley Zimmer covers ground so quickly, it's only going to be a single for Joseph. Then Hunter Dozier comes up with one out, hits a ball past Lindor into left field, so it's two singles for the Royals in the inning. First and second with one out as Andujar comes to the plate. He swings at strike three, but the ball gets away from Mejia, so it's second and third with two outs. And then when Valoria comes to the plate, a pitch gets past Mejia once again, and the runners are going to move up and score one of them, so it's a 3-1 game. But then Valoria would strike out, so it's only going to be a 3-1 lead. Bottom half of the second now, as Naquin lines one right at Rose, bounces off his glove, but he hauls it in nonetheless on the second try. Nice play by Richard Rose. Top half of the third now with two outs, and Jorge Soler starting off his season, showing off that power bat. They're hoping he's going to put up a lot of home runs for him this year, and he starts off the first game with his first home run, so it's a 3-2 ball game now. Bottom half of the third now as Brian Dozier's at the plate with Lindor at first base, and Dozier's going to hit one into the left center field gap. Phillips cuts it off, but it is going to score Lindor from first base. An RBI double for Dozier makes it a 4-2 Indians lead. Then Jose Adolis Garcia comes to the plate. He hits an up-and-in fastball into center field, and it's going to score Dozier, so it's now a 5-2 Tribe lead. Bottom half of the third, still Mejia would ground into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play to keep the score at 5-2. Move on to the top of the sixth now, where Jorge Bonifacio is going to go gapping into the right center field gap. Off of the wall, Bonifacio's not holding up at second base. He just runs right through that bag into third with a triple with one out, and brings up Tommy Joseph, who rips the ball right back up the middle, scores Bonifacio from third. It's now a 2-run game. 5-3 is the score. Brett Phillips then draws a full count walk, so it's first and second now for the Royals, and then Hunter Dozier with a single pass Dozier into right field. Everybody holds up, so it's a bases-loaded situation with one out for Miguel Andujar, who swings at the first pitch and gets it past Ramirez. 2 runs are going to come in for the Royals, and that is a tie game at 5. Second and third now for the Royals. That would end Corey Kluber's day, and Tristan McKenzie comes out of the pen for the Indians. 1-1 count with 2 outs, and McKenzie would be able to get them out of the inning at still a tie game. But then at the top of the 7th, Richard Rose lines one right back up the middle. McKenzie still on the hill. And that is Richard Rose's first MLB hit. Congratulations to him. He would proceed to then swipe second base on the very next pitch to Soler. So he's on second, and then with a 1-1 count to Soler, he misjudges how far the ball got away from Mejia, and he gets caught in a rundown, but somehow gets over to third even with the rundown. So Rose on third with nobody out, and then Soler with a bullet into left field. The left fielder had to throw across his body, so Rose is able to tag up and score to make it a 6-5 Royals lead, their first lead of the ballgame. Familia comes on to the bottom of the 8th with 1 out, and Lindor hits one down the right field line for a 2-bagger, his second double of the game. This one comes with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and then Brian Dozier strikes out on the up-and-in fastball, so Familia's 1 out away from getting out of the jam, but Pedro Alvarez hits one slowly up the middle, allows Lindor to score from second base, and it's all tied up at 6 now. But then Familia would strike out Garcia on the slider, so we have ourselves a tie game heading into the top of the 9th. Tristan McKenzie still on the hill for the Indians, and Maybreeze Valoria is going to hit one off of the left field wall in left center. It's going to be a double for the new Royals catcher with nobody out, so then Ramon Torres comes to the plate, hits one up the middle. Valoria's not going to test the arm of Zimmer, so it's runners on the corners with nobody out for the Royals, and Richard Rose comes up yet again with the single, scores the go-ahead run on a run driven in. It's now a 7-6 game. Torres has gunned down at third, but they do take that 7-6 lead into the bottom of the 9th, where Kelvin Herrera shuts the door on Bradley Zimmer and picks up his first save of the 2020 season as the Royals win their first game here on opening day. They start at 1-0, the Indians 0-1. Richard Rose gets player of the game honors in his major league debut. He was 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles and run driven in. He also scored on the day and he walked. Jorge Soler had a solo shot. Tommy Joseph was 3 for 4. Miguel Andujar was 2 for 4. And then Valoria had himself 2 hits as well. Familia gets the win, Tristan McKenzie the loss, and Herrera the save. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of Kansas City Royals Baseball. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.